Brothers and sisters, Trinity to Guzman, coming at you right now from just a little north of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. There's this amazing lake on the Sunshine Coast, a little bit near Egmont or Earl's Cove. Check it out. It's amazing. I have my little chair over here, and I'm just sitting here by myself as I've been on this little solo journey the past few days. And I'm making this video for anybody who's ever suffering from depression or any lack of clarity or purpose or direction, or just feeling lost or confused, or just like struggling to find peace in your life. So the reason I'm making this video is because I, over this past summer, fell in love with this amazing woman from France. And just a few days ago, she went home. Back to France, and I'm gonna go to France in a few days and gonna see her and her family before she moves over here with me, and we're gonna share our life together, and we're looking so forward to it. But the point of this video is like the story of the inspiration of me doing this vision quest, this solo journey, was her departure left me feeling like there was a part of me that left. Of course, that's only understandable, right? And I was sad, of course. And so I knew that with this feeling of sadness, that there was some sort of illusion there that I was believing in. Because whenever we feel sad, all that is some form of fear or separation that is rooted in our beliefs. And so let me go a little bit more into that. See, anytime we're ever feeling less than unhappy, it's because there's a belief that we call true that is not true. And so there's an illusion that we are believing to be real in that feeling of sadness. And of course, it's easy to say this, but if you're experiencing this, and if you're unhappy and you're depressed, or you're not at all anywhere close to peaceful, then it's all just like blah, blah, blah. So how do you actually get to that place of peace? And how do you find those beliefs? And how do you clean up the things that are rooted in fear that's leading you to feel that way? Or that's rooted in separation? Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. When we're born and we come into these physical bodies as from spirit, we are a source. We come from source. We are a part of the absolute, the all of creation, the universe, spirit. And we come into these physical bodies, and for all of us, there is this separation from divinity, the separation from whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, spirit, the absolute, from the source of creation. And that is the root of all pain in this world. Being in this third dimension, being in this physical body, all pain, all sadness, all feelings that are less than amazing are rooted in the separation from the one. I am, we all are. And so this is about giving you the tools that are necessary for you to be able to see the illusions, for you to be able to see the separation and see the fear or the insecurities or the beliefs that are causing you to not feel very good. And so the first and foremost thing is that you cannot try to numb yourself to the feelings. So many human beings do that. They use substances like marijuana or alcohol, or even their social life, as a form of escape. And so they use these different things, whether it's substances or their friends, as a way to not have to feel or deal with their emotions. And that is the surefire way for you to keep feeling it and keep needing these band-aids. If you want to finally release the root of the pain, of the negative feelings, you have to go into it. You can't mask it. You can't put a band-aid over it. It's like if you're driving a car, if your check oil filter comes up or check engine filter or light comes up, do you just like put a piece of tape over it so you don't see it? Or do you like look into the engine and see what's wrong there? Of course, you would go to the root and fix that, not just cover it so you don't see it. But that's what so many human beings are doing. Why? Because that's what we're taught. And so that's what everybody else is doing around us. But you don't have to do it just because everybody else is. And it's up to people like you and I to recreate and repave the path for what it means to be awake, for what it means to be a human being who can be an example and an inspiration to the people around us, not just following the herd because everybody else is doing it. And so, just because people are, distracting themselves from their pain through sex, through their social life, through alcohol, marijuana, drugs, unconscious use of substances, that is the way you don't want to do it. And so, bringing first awareness to that, now I can bring awareness to how do you actually deal with it. And that is why I'm out here. And it's what I call a vision quest. It's what I call solitude, introspection, alone time. Because one of the biggest things that many people suffer from is feeling lonely. But being lonely and alone are two very different things. Osho speaks a lot about this. And Osho is this guru, he speaks a lot about like the non-guru, which is like the fact that, there's so much that he speaks about, and I don't want to make this video very long, so I just want to tell you a little bit about like what he says about alone and loneliness. And so loneliness is coming from the lack of, it's coming from the separation, it's coming from wanting somebody in our lives and not having that, and feeling like there's a part of us that's missing, feeling like there's a part of us that should be there but isn't, feeling like there's a part of us that's just lacking. And so there's this kind of empty feeling, and that's what loneliness is. Whereas alone, alone doesn't have to mean you feel bad, whereas loneliness does. Loneliness is associated with a lack feeling, whereas being alone, you can be so full, so whole being alone. And that is one of the biggest things that many human beings suffer from, is feeling lonely and not being okay with being alone. And see, if you ever want to manifest a relationship, if you ever want to manifest your ideal lover or somebody who, you can share life with and enjoy this beautiful experience of this third dimension with, then it's important that you release the roots of loneliness, because you can never attract a companion from a vibration of loneliness. You can never attract an abundance of love while feeling the lack of love, because everything is a vibrational mirror. And so everything we experience in our external world is just is a reflection of our internal vibration. So if we're feeling lonely, then our external experience will reflect that back to us. Whereas if we're feeling full with love, then and only then can we manifest the love that we want in our lives. And so the question is, how do you get from a place of feeling full of love if you don't yet have that person in your life? And so that's what this quest is about, this vision quest, this time alone. And this is where I encourage you, especially men. And yes, this goes for everybody, but especially men. I truly believe every few years, men need to spend some time alone in the woods or wherever in nature by themselves to really come back to themselves, to ground, to get clarity on their purpose, on their vision, to just come back to being grounded and solid and whole. Whereas many people come from a place of neediness, or needing other people outside of them to fill them, or needing experience outside of them to fill them. And so this is about getting rid of every stimulation and having nothing but you and yourself and nature. Mother, Pachamama, Mama Gaia, just her in all of her majesty. Wherever you feel called, wherever you are, it doesn't need to be very long. It could be even one day. It could be a few days. It could be a week. I've spent as much as 4 months alone in the woods, where I haven't really seen anybody in that time. And that has been absolutely one of the most powerful and transformational times of my life. And that was inspired by the book Iron John. If you haven't read it, men especially, read this book, Iron John by Robert Bly. Highly, beyond highly recommended. It will change your life. And so, this vision quest, this time alone, is about sitting with yourself. And in this time, all your fears, all of your insecurities, all of your pain, all of your sadness all of your worries will come up. And instead of finding a way to mask it, instead of running away from it, instead of hiding from it, you feel it. You go into it. You go into the roots of where that came from. You just witness it, not judge it, not try to get rid of it, but you watch it, you observe it, you experience it. And you ask. That's what it's all about. It's about asking Mother Earth, asking the spirits of the land around, asking the trees and the water, the sun and the air, asking the elements, asking the directions, asking the angels, the ascended masters and the guides for clarity, for peace, for vision. And when you, as long as you stick it out, it will come to you. It might not be right away, might not be after even like a day or a week, but stick it out. Be the eye of the storm. I was connecting with this massive 500-year-old tree yesterday, and I asked it, how did it get so big? And it said so many things, and one of the messages that I got from it was how, regardless of anything that was happening around it, it stood its ground. It weathered the storm until eventually the storm didn't even faze it. And that is applicable in infinite ways. And that is a little side note. You can ask anything in nature to teach you. You can ask the trees, the sun, the water, the little bugs, all the animals you see that come across your path if you're so blessed to have them. All of it are teachers if you ask and sit in stillness and allow the answers to come. Not think of the answers. They're two completely different things. Thinking and receiving visions are two very different things. And so this quest, this vision quest, and this time alone in solitude is not about thinking. Yeah, you'll have contemplation, and that's going to be a part of your process, and it's going to be very valuable. But as much as you can, sit in stillness, in silence, by yourself. Breathe. Stay focused on your breath. Listen. Use your senses. And in that, your vision will come. Your guidance will come. And who knows, for those of you who stick it out long enough, you'll pop. And you'll get to a place of peace, so far beyond anything you've ever known. It's not an easy journey, and that's why very few people do it. How many people do you know go out and spend months on their own in the woods? Very few. And only those who are willing to do the work will receive the benefits of the joy, of the love, of the highest vibrations, of the peace that comes from this. So this is my message to you, to any of you who is suffering from sadness, depression, loneliness, lack of vision or direction, confusion, any of that. If you are seeking purpose, direction, or joy again in your life, spend some time by yourself in nature for as long as you need. Make whatever you need to make possible in your circumstances, in your life experience, so that you can accommodate this experience for yourself. There really is nothing more important. Nothing is more important than your joy, your peace, your love. Because when you are living from that place, you are a service to everybody else around you. And when you're not, you are a suck. How do you even describe it? Like an energy vampire from people around you. Because of your negative vibration, you suck the energy from people around you. And do you really want to be doing that? I wouldn't think so. And so, this is my message for all of you. And I really hope this inspires even just one of you to go out, spend some time by yourself in nature, even if it's just for a day, even if it's just for an evening. Do this and it will serve you infinitely. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm so grateful to be able to make this and share this inspiration that I had with you right now. And I look so forward to seeing you in my next video. Mwah!